So now we've looked at the platform, I'm going to show you how to go ahead and import assets, how to create a blank composition so you can start getting started, and I'm also going to show you how to add a coloured gradient background and begin adding your assets into this composition. So let's go ahead and import our assets. So we're going to go to the project window, and you should be able to right click and import files. I'm going to import a sound file and an image, and once I click open you'll see that they then are listed there in the project file. If you click on each asset, it will give you a little description of what it is up there, and that's as simple as it is to import assets. So to go ahead and create a blank composition, there's a little file or icon down the bottom here, and if you hover over it you'll see it says create new composition. So we're going to click on that, and we are going to stick to our 1920 by 1080 so that anything that we create can be pulled over into Premiere Pro. And always remember to give your composition a name. Okay. So once I hit OK, the screen goes blank here because this is my playback menu or playback window. Also in here you can see that a composition icon has popped up. Okay, so that there is our composition. Down here our composition window has become active, and you can see now that there is an active timeline in there. So the first thing we're going to do now then is add a solid background. Okay, so hovering in the composition area, I'm going to right click and I'm going to come to new. I'm going to hover across, and you can see you've got options to add all different manner of objects. The first one we're going to look at is a new solid. So it's already named it up there for us. You come down to the colour. Okay, so you come down and click in the colour here, and you can choose kind of any colour you want. Now I'm going to choose this light blue and click OK, and OK again. And now you'll see that in my playback window I've got the blue background that I wanted. Down here in your timeline you'll see that this bar has appeared. Okay, and this is telling us that if we go across we've got 30 seconds of blue background. Now just like in Premiere you can reduce the time that these appear. Okay, so it's just like Premiere, and there we have our blue background. The next thing I'm going to do is show you how to change that background into a gradient. So this is when we come over to our effects and presets, and in After Effects a gradient is applied in terms of an effect. So a gradient is called a ramp. So there we have it. If we type in ramp, it comes up out of our list of hundreds of effects. We've got gradient ramp, and what we do is we drag and either drop it onto the playback window or onto the composition layer, and that gives us our gradient. Now obviously you can see that it's changed the colour there, but if you come into your effect controls, again similar to Premiere where you've got controls for every effect that you add, we can then go in and change our colours. Okay, and we could even change this if we wanted. And there you have a gradient background. Now we're going to go on to add in some of our files that we've got. Okay, so we need to find our project panel again. It's hidden behind here. And what I'm going to do is bring on the bottle. So we've got an image of a bottle, and if I drag that into my composition. You can see at the minute it's not viewing because it's layered behind the coloured solid. Okay, so just as in Premiere or Photoshop, when you're working with layers, anything underneath something else is usually hidden. So I've dragged that above. Now we can see that it's pretty big. So if I hold down the Shift key on my keyboard and drag in from this corner, so hold the Shift key to keep it in proportion, I'm going to resize that image. Okay, so that's the first asset added, and we've created the beginnings of an animation. You can see that I've got a two-layered file, so I've got my background here, and I've got on top of it my bottled water. So if I was to move this across, you can see in the timeline that the bottle appears. So in the next step we're going to show how to animate that on.